Acts chapter 17, verse 25. Neither is worship with men's hands, talking about God, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things. I'm looking at the facts of life. God is not worshipped with men's hands as though he needed anything, but seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things. What is life all about? The worst thing that can happen to anybody is to be living and does not know the reason why he's alive. Sleep every night, wake up every morning to no purpose. It's a tragedy of life. Please understand these three things. First, when the purpose of life is not understood, life ends with regrets. When the purpose of life is not understood, life ends with regrets. There are many people today, at the end of their journey, they are full of too many regrets. I wished I did this, I wish I didn't do that. When the purpose of life is not understood, life ends with regrets. Secondly, when the purpose of life is not understood, life is lived as a burden. When the purpose of life is not understood, life is lived as a burden. You see people, at times, just what's the aim of this life? It's burdensome. Thirdly, when the purpose of life is not understood, disaster is inevitable. It's like an aircraft moving in the air out of touch with the control tower. Disaster is inevitable. A crash can happen anytime. There are many people whose lives and destinies crashed because the purpose of life was not understood. What is life all about? 5 facts I'll give you this morning about life. Number 1, life is a gift. He giveth to all life. Life is a gift. Nobody decided to live and he's alive. Life is a gift. What is the implication of life being a gift? One implication, simple. Life must be used to the pleasure of the giver. If it is a gift, then it must be lived to the pleasure of the giver. How excited would you be, brothers and sisters? You bought a fine looking suit and you gave it to somebody, and the next time you visited his house, he was using the suit as rag. What a pain. What a pain. That is how exactly Almighty God feels when he gave you life and you choke it with alcohol and you suffocate it with Indian hemp and you squander it in prostitution. And instead of advertising God with your body, you advertise the flesh and usher people into distraction and destruction. It must be used to the pleasure of the giver. There are people who God see and regret creating them. He regrets. It happened in the days of Noah. He said he repented God that he made man. When he saw the way they lived and he saw the way they squandered themselves, he said, God repented. Why did I make these people? Let me finish them with the flood. As you are seated here, my dear brothers and sisters, when God looks at your life, is he glad that he made you, or he's sad that he made you? Does it excite God that he did not waste his resources and his time creating you, or it repents God? That was Genesis 6 and in verse 5 and 6. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil control. And it repented the Lord that he had made man. That is in the days of Noah. There are many of us. The way we spend our time, the way we spend our money, the way we carry ourselves, God will look and say, oh, what a waste of effort on this one. What a waste. I don't know about you, but I want to live my life to such a point where God will look down and say, this is my beloved son. I am happy with you. I am happy with you. With the way you pray, you study my word, you touch people's lives, with the way you sacrifice yourself for me, with the way you insist on doing what is right and tell others to do the same, with the way you are leading people to heaven and not leading them to hell. I am happy with you. Is God Almighty happy with you? Life is a gift that must be lived to the pleasure of the giver. This is my beloved son. In him I am pleased. Number 2, life is a privilege. A privilege. What do we mean by that? It's a privilege. It's a privilege because nobody woke up this morning because he decided to wake up. There were those who slept last night and they couldn't wake up this morning. There was no trace of sickness, no diabetes, no hypertension, no peptic ulcer disease. They slept in health and woke up in death. It's a privilege. Nobody can be too powerful and for the sake of his power he is alive. Nobody can be too wise and because of his wisdom he lived. Nobody can be too talented and because of his talent he lived. Nobody can be so connected that his connection made him to live. For every single second the man lives, it is a privilege, not a right. Is God speaking to somebody here? I heard the story of this very rough American President Theodore Roosevelt. Very rough, very aggressive, very fightful man, very audacious. A man given to adventure. A man who could fight anything. And one day he died. And he died in his sleep. And somebody wrote and said, only in sleep could that man have died. Because if he was awake, he would have fought with death. You see, he was powerful, but not too powerful to bow for death. Am I communicating? Medical professor carried his resident doctors and if you have ever been to a teaching hospital, you see how a professor is moving and consultants are moving with him and residents and doctors in training and then undergraduates, everybody moving along. And one day he had some slight abdominal condition. And he did an ultrasound on himself and realized it was hepatocellular carcinoma. And he told them, oh, this is the diagnosis. Bye, all of you. He has been a doctor and a professor for years. He hasn't seen anybody survived it. So he wished them bye and bowed to death. Despite his medical knowledge, he couldn't help himself. Take your seat. It's a privilege. Because even doctors who treat others die too. I was in the teaching hospital at a point during my housemanship, and a doctor more senior than me in the same teaching hospital was sick of fever and had typhoid perforations and died inside teaching hospital under the nose of consultants and professionals and specialists in all fields. Under their nose, himself being a professional, typhoid perforated his intestines. He was gone. It's a privilege. I told you the story of before, the story before of Alexander the Great. When he died, they carried him everywhere. He was with one of the Nebuchadnezzars. And then when they did everything to make him leave and he could not leave, Alexander the Great, he told his army generals, he said, it's obvious that I'm going to die. But before I die, I ask that you do 3 things for me. And his general said, General, we can do anything for you. So what are those things? Number 1, he said, when I die, let my doctors carry me on their shoulder to the graveyard and bury me there. Number 2, let my money and the gold and the diamonds and the pearls and everything I gather from around the world in war, let all of it be poured on the ground between the house and the grave. And number 3, let them bury me with an open hand. That's, he is buried and his hands are open. And the general got confused. And they said, you know, sir, that anything you say we should do, we'll do. But what is the meaning of these instructions? And he told them, he said, number 1, let my doctors bury me, carry me on their shoulder, and let the world know that in the day of death, no doctor can save you. That the doctors were watching and I still died. No matter how rich, no matter the kind of consultants you can get, let the world know. See, number 2, pour the money on the ground between the house and the grave to let the world know that that money is not different from the earth. Say, bury me with an open hand to show people that I didn't take anything from here. I came to the world naked and I left naked. I couldn't carry anything from here. What a lesson. What a lesson. What is the meaning of life is a privilege? Life is a privilege means it must never be taken for granted. Take your seat. It must never be taken for granted. Don't keep on saying, what is life all about? Let me die. You just invite death and die for nothing. It must never be taken for granted. It must be lived with appreciation. It must be lived with appreciation. Life is a privilege. Number 3, life is a seed. Life is a seed. Life is a seed. Life is a seed. How we live today determines where we end tomorrow. Every act is a seed that is definitely going to produce a harvest. Life is a seed. The way you live is the seeds you are sowing. Living is seeding. Your relationship with your fellow human beings, your character, your lifestyle, they are seeds you are sowing that is definitely going to produce a harvest. Am I communicating? Hear this. How you live in time determines where you end in eternity. People are sowing seeds with their lives. When you lie against your neighbor, you sow the seed that you reap in time and eternity. When you stole money that is not your own, you sow the seed. When you step into somebody's home, push out the woman, marry the man. All right? The woman doesn't deserve the man. You deserve the man more than the woman. You sow seeds that will generate for you harvest in time and in eternity. When you fail the student because she refused to compromise and give you bribe or sleep with you, and you fail them in exam, as if they send them to school for you to destroy their lives, you sow the seed that you are going to reap in time and eternity. When you carry petrol and mix it with kerosene or something in order to increase the profit, you sow the seed that you will reap in time and eternity. When you carry flour that they used to bake and you mix it with cassava to increase its volume, you sow the seed that you reap in time and eternity. When you increase, you reduce your age in order to get job, you sow the seed that you reap in time and in eternity. When you lied so you can get visa, you sowed a seed. Are you hearing what I'm saying here today? People are busy sowing seeds on a daily basis. When you lie against your neighbor at the place of work so you can get favor, you sow the seed so that the person can reduce and you can increase. You sow the seed. When they sent you to buy something for your organization and you increase the price so that you and the seller can share the difference, you sow the seed that your children may not recover from. Because he said, when Naaman the Syrian was healed and Gehazi collected money from Naaman the Syrian, and he was not meant to collect, and he lied, Elisha said, the leprosy of Naaman is on you and your generation. There are people who do things today and implicate their children, even children yet unborn. You sow a seed. When you collect bribe to pervert justice, you sow a seed. A seed that you reap in time and eternity. Am I communicating? Take your seed.